but it is definitely a huge wake-up call as to how much of the shows actually come down to your ability to pose and not pose. Another thing I want to highlight here real quickly, because we talked about this before, about when you came at second place at the show in Vegas, you had a conversation with your son, right? And he was definitely inspiring you and definitely kind of pushed you for the win. Can you go into that? Because I feel like a lot of people would love to hear about that.
So my oldest son, Cody Jr., just turned 10 actually. At the time, he was playing football, loves football. I'm more of a basketball dad, so it was like I was trying to give, hey, why don't you play basketball? He wants to play football. So he was getting discouraged because his team were losing quite a few games. You know how youth football could be. And his whole thought process was, I don't know if I want to play football anymore. I don't know if this is really for me because we keep losing. I was like, I had to tell him that's not the mind frame to have. You don't just, you go back into the lab and you work until you achieve what it is you set out to get. And immediately after coming in second place, I did have to already have the thought process of like, I'm coming back and I will get it. But my son just kind of he definitely reinforced it. And at times when I did feel like I was getting discouraged, I thought back to the conversation where I had with a couple of people who were at the show, and he was just like, so we're okay with second place now? Because I remember you telling me that second place is first loser, and we're like, essentially, are we gonna put up or shut up? I was like, we getting it. So we're definitely gonna get it. And I made it a point to where at the Arizona Scorcher that I put in those extra hours, those extra work, and I had him come out to the show to actually be there so he can see firsthand whether I got first place or whether I got second, third, or fourth. But the fact that we're still shooting our shot, we're still going for our goals, and that one L or two L's is not going to stop that. You're going to take it back to the lab, you're going to re-engage, refocus, and then go from there. And even after the next show, because in between those shows, his football team started to win a few more games, and he became a little lackadaisical. That's when I also told him, I was like, so who are the teams that you beat? He explained who they were. Are they the best? He was, no, they're not the best teams in the league. He was like, so why are we satisfied? We're sad. We haven't beaten the best. And immediately after winning the Arizona Scorcher, because him and my mother was there, I'm talking to a group of people who, you know how after a show it goes, you talk to a group of people, and some are trainers, some are judges. I was actually getting my feedback. And they told me, it was like, yeah, you had the complete package, yada, yada, yada. All you had to do was work more on your posing, like we kind of thought. And my son, in front of everybody, was just like, so did you beat the best? So are we going to stop here? Because no, we're not. So that kind of drove me into, now that I have, quote, become a pro, I've got to compete against the pros and I've got to beat the best. And that's when I started actually looking toward who the natty top 10s were and all the natural bodybuilding men's physique lists were, and figuring out where I need to go, who I need to compete against to say that, hey, I've competed against the best. And I've put up a fight, if not won, those categories. So, and I'm going to make sure that he's there to witness it.
Hell yeah. Now, I appreciate this because, oh my God, you literally just showed your son such an important life lesson that I feel like we're straying away from, which is the absolute objective importance of winning. And there is no fucking variables to it. There is no handicaps. There's no 12th place ribbons. And for anybody that really wants to highlight a 12th place ribbon, I could definitely tell you, for me, I thought I fucking brought it to that damn show. I fucking thought I was there. Didn't even come in the top 5, right? And yeah, I could sit here and be like, oh yeah, but at least I have a great six pack. No, fuck that shit. You know, I lost. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I lost bad. And, you know, the fact that you can show your son, hey, I might have come in second, but it's not enough because it's not my goal. I got to keep pushing for it. That is such an important lesson that you taught your son. I'm very proud of you for that. Like, that's amazing. And I actually, when you're talking about this, I'm thinking about, like, you remember that scene where Kobe, the Lakers had just gone up 2-0 and he's at that podium. They're like, hey, why do you look mad? He's like, well, job not done. Job's not done, you know? And another thing I really do want to highlight, and why I love talking to you about this is what you just alluded to right there, which is, yeah, I might be a pro, but you still don't give yourself the credit to do so. And it's not that it's like a negative thing. It's not like you're like, oh, fuck, like you're putting yourself down. I can hear it in your voice. You are using that to literally push yourself even further, no matter what. So I got to ask you, when you tell yourself these things, when you're like, hey, well, I'm not a pro yet because I'm not competing against other pros. Like, well, I haven't beaten the best, whatever. How does that show up for you, not only in your workouts, but like in your day-to-day life?
Oh, it shows up drastically. Like I've explained before, I may have the way I see it, right?
It can get so hard to wanna wake up some days. Wish you stayed asleep, 'cause it's too much to